Hey guys, welcome. Star Citizen Alpha 4.2.0 patch watch was just released. The name for this patch is Refine, Retune, and Restyle. Now, let's take a look. Currently, Alpha 4.2 is in testing across all PTU waves and is gearing up for its live release. So personally, I think the 4.2 is going live mid next week, but there's still a possibility that they're gonna release it this Friday. Today is Tuesday, so we'll have 3 more days to go. Be prepared both ways. If 4.2 is released this Friday, then this whole weekend is going to be storm-breaking. If it's not, then we still have a couple days to prepare. But almost certainly, we're gonna see 4.2 live before the end of next week. That's the latest. Now, let's see what are the major features in this patch. First of all, ATLS and refining improvements. Starting in Alpha 4.2, you can now summon your ATLS power suit directly via freight elevators in any hangar. Previously, retrieving an ATLS required using the ship ASOP terminal. But right now, you can call it from your freight elevator, makes it a lot easier to manage your ship and power suit separately. Now, how you do this is when the patch is released. Now, first thing you need to go to your ASOP terminal and deliver your ATLS or LSGO or the EKT, which you're going to be getting from the Wicklow. Both type EKTs, EKT ATLS or EKT LSGO. So we have 4 types of ATLS in the 4.2. Now, you don't have to retrieve it on the ASOP terminal. Simply go to your freight elevator right here. You can already see the ATLS and LSGO. And then simply bring them to your elevator and send it up. The moment you send it up, if you go back to your ASOP terminal, you will see they are in a claimed condition. So you can reclaim them. Now, you can see your ATLS is inside your freight elevator. You can bring them out and then put them on your ships. Very easy. You don't have to go through the entire hangar lowering, closing, bring it up and close and all that process. Now, if you go back to your freight elevator, you will see the 2 more ATLS that which you just reclaimed. So you can keep doing this process and duplicate your ATLS geos. Make copies of them. Some people hate the word duping, but it is what it is. You can make copies of this. Once you make copies of them, you can scatter them around in the spare areas in your hangar. And it's really easy to load to your ships. You don't have to recall them. Every time you need an ATLS geo, just simply bring them to your ship. You can snap these ATLS geos onto the cargo grid. This is the hull A. Oh, I guess we cannot snap on the hull A. Okay, we cannot snap this on the hull A. Now, let's test it on the Zeus CL. Now, you can snap the ATLS geo on the grid. However, you do not see the silhouette, but when you tractor it, you can see detaching. For a split second, you see the words detaching. Now, if I get on board this geo, you can see I cannot move. I cannot jump. I cannot move. Meaning it's snapped on grid. It's trying to move, but I cannot. So it's snapped on grid. I can fire my lasers though. Now, what is even more awesome is that you can snap this onto an Argo raft. I learned this from my friend STECS. He has a wonderful video for this. Oh. Wait. Oh, there we go. You just have to release it. You have to release it. You can't see the silhouette. Just release it when it gets close. There we go. It's now snapped on the grid. Wow, that's cool. There we go. Now you can bring this one down. Yep. Oh, very snappy. Very snappy. Okay, let's bring it down fully on the ground. Nope. It's getting so snappy. Now, can I track it when someone is sitting in the ATLS? That's a negative. I am not able to track if someone's sitting on the ATLS geo. Let's try this. While I'm tracking it, someone sits in there. Oh! Nice! This way I can tractor it even when someone is sitting in there. Tractoring it, and then Luke sits in there. Oh, it's automatically snapped up there. Wow. That is cool. This is extra tractor beam that we need. I'm gonna give him a box. Oh, he tracted that box. Yeah, the angle is really odd on the ship. I don't think I can turn around. So I only face one way. That's why Luke can only track the box up and down. But this is an extra tractor beam on your ship. Wow, this is awesome. I'll send all the way over there really fast. Whoa, look at that. Holy moly. And then bring it back. Oh, it's water splashing. Wow, very nice. Now, what if Luke gets out of the geo? Oh, there we go. Luke can get out of the geo. And drop down. And now I can track this geo down. Wow, what a... Oh, snappy. Very snappy. What a awesome hidden feature this is. Next thing, in the 4.2, Argo Atlas Geo is added to in-game shops, both at Lorville and also at Area 18, for 90,720 AUEC. Next little feature, as part of our ongoing effort to reduce friction and support more meaningful decision making, we've also improved the refining experience. Refining times are now shorter, letting you see results of your work sooner. Nice! Next feature is about the Mirai UI new style. The Mirai Guardian as well as the Guardian QI have received a visual upgrade with the integration of the new Mirai UI style, first introduced with the Mirai Guardian MX. This update brings a sleeker, more modern cockpit interface to these ships, unifying the Guardian line under a constant high-tech design language that better reflect the Mirai's brand vision. We're still working on the Pulse ground vehicle and their variants. Now, this is a Mirai Guardian QI. Let's take a look at together. Oh, nice. I remember the Guardian and Guardian QI, the MFD, are on top of the ship. But right now, it looks much nicer. I like the color, contrast, and the design, especially when you aim down sight. Ooh, look at that. More like an alien-like. The animation. Very cool. And the MFD. Ooh, look at the red contrast here. Also, QD on and off. Open exterior. Every single button, you can basically click it. Power off. It does exactly what the button says. Power off. And then engine on and off. And doors. Lights. No, lights button doesn't work. Landing gear button doesn't work. Hail, scan, radar, none of these buttons work. They're just decorations. But this is a good step. But this button right here, if you want to exit in the front, it's quite difficult. You don't see the words, so you have to just click the one on the bottom. Now you can exit the ship through the front. Very nice. Guardian and Guardian QI. Next feature, neutralizing threats with distortion. In Alpha 4.2.0, missiles, bombs, and torpedoes will now explode when fully distorted. This means distortion-based weapons or fields like EMPs can trigger premature detonation mid-flight. With precise timing, you can disable enemy ordnances before it reaches its target, adding a new tactical layer to defense and counterplay. Now, speaking of this, I want to make one correction because in one of my previous videos, I talk about the missile changes, especially one of the distortion change. I thought that the missile is inherited distortion damage when you hit a target, but it's the other way around. That number is the amount of distortion that this torpedo or missile or bomb that can take before it detonates. If we look at the changelog from the ship viewer, you can see all those missiles, 45 missiles from the size 1, arrow 1, all the way to the bombs and size 12 torpedoes. What's added is the maximum damage, distortion damage. So every single missile, bomb, and torpedo is equalized as the same. If this particular ordnance take 1,000 distortion damage, then this torpedo or bomb will explode. Now, let's do some tests for that. But before we start, I was trying to equip my Gladius with the distortion repeaters. But look at something very interesting. The brand, the manufacturer that's making this is called ASD, Associated Science and Development. Looks familiar, right? This is the ASD lab that we're gonna be doing a lot of activities at in the 4.2, the storm breaking activities. And they are at the ASD labs. And around the storm breaking locations, there is a distortion field or EMP field. That is why it disables our ships. So that is what the patch note says, EMP fields. That means exactly that. Very interesting. Now, let's test this size 9 torpedo from an Eclipse. This is not a fired torpedo. It's just detached from the ship. On this Gladius, I have distortion repeaters. I'm going to shoot at that torpedo.
Friendly target.
Oh, I'm getting hit markers.
Friendly target.
It's getting distorted. The distortion is moving the torpedo. I think the hit marker might be on the hull A. I couldn't make it explode. Okay. Well, I couldn't make it explode. So I think you have to fire the torpedo. So if you just shoot like this without firing the torpedo, it might not work. Yeah, when I tractor this torpedo, you can see the health is still 100%. The distortion did not do any damage to this torpedo. Now, if I shoot it with my gun, and now tractor it, you can see the health is down by 25%. So distortion shooting like this, no damage. Luke is going to fire a size 12 torpedo firing. Now, we're gonna go chase it and then shoot at it with the distortion. Oh! I almost hit it! Oh, yes! Wow, distortion can destroy it so easily. Okay, fire another one. Missile fired. Oh! That was... Oh, that's 2. Oh, 1 destroyed? Wow. Oh, another one destroyed. Wow, few hits with a distortion can destroy the torpedo very easily. The PDC will take longer, but distortion? Oh, maybe we need to put some distortion repeaters on our ship just to protect from the torpedo hits, but someone has to mine the turrets to shoot at it. Next major feature updates are missiles, tuning, and targeting improvements. In Alpha 4.2, missiles and torpedoes are receiving a comprehensive update and tuning pass. This includes refined targeting mechanics, enhanced tracking behavior, and a broad rebalance across multiple aspects. Targeting system improvements. Following player feedback and internal investigation during Alpha 4.1.1 and previous cycles, we've addressed several long-standing issues in missile targeting and refined some of the underlying systems. Specifically, 1. Lock quality mechanics. We've streamlined the lock quality mechanics so that once you achieve a lock on a target, your missiles immediately gains full tracking effectiveness. Minimum lock range adjustment adjustments. Most missile type now require a slightly increased minimum lock distance, typically between 1.7 and 2 kilometers, to ensure targets have fair chance to deploy countermeasures. Well, speaking of this, the regular 2 missiles is getting hurt a lot. It's not a slight adjustment from 500 meters minimum lock range to 1.8 minimum lock range. That's a lot. Big increase for a minimum lock distance. Now, torpedoes, on the other hand, have had their minimum lock distance slightly reduced to improve usability. Really? Improve usability just by reducing the minimum lock distance? It is nice that the minimum lock distance is reduced, especially for the size 12 torpedoes. The minimum lock range is 3.5 kilometers now. Before, it's 4.5. However, they added the torpedo explosion safety distance. A new minimum arming safety distance of 1.5 kilometers has been introduced for all torpedoes. This means torpedoes will no longer detonate until they've traveled at least 1.5 kilometers, whether fired with lock or in dumbfire mode. For this, I have tested in detail in 2 videos. So what this means is once you fire that torpedo has to travel 1.5 kilometers. For example, if you're shooting at a target which is 1.7 kilometers away, dumbfire, and then that target is traveling towards you for 300 meters. When that target hits your torpedo, now your torpedo just traveled 1400 meters. At the time of impact, that torpedo will just bounce off the target. It will not explode, because it hasn't traveled 1.5 kilometers yet. That almost completely renders the Polaris torpedo useless for PvP, especially against an Aegis, because the Aegis will have sufficient time to deflect your torpedoes or to shoot your torpedo down. With PDCs, with flares, oh, don't even start with flares. Flares are super effective now. Countermeasure and tracking rebalance, missile and torpedo tracking capabilities, as well as countermeasure effectiveness have been fully rebalanced around the update ship emission values introduced with Resource Network in 3.24.2 notably. Torpedoes now feature improved tracking performance over standard missiles, enhancing their reliability and impact during combat engagement. This is wrong. So at least for the latest PTU patch, one single flare from a Polaris or whatever ship can completely deflect all 4 size 12 torpedoes. Just one single flare. Of course, that still requires further testing, which I will be doing later today. But as of right now, the flares are super effective, including the ballista. Now, Anvil Ballista's bespoke Helium and Scimitar missiles have received specialized tuning to better serve their anti-air role. These now allow for much closer target locking and overall improved tracking capabilities against targets, which means all the Helium 7 and Scimitar missiles has 50 meters minimum lock range. But even so, the ballista is still ineffective because of the flares of the ship. One flare can deflect every single missile or torpedo you shoot at any ship in terms of PvP. Again, that requires further testing. Additional updates. Except the torpedo explosion safety distance we talked about earlier. Now, explosion radius and damage fall-off. The maximum explosion radius for both missiles and torpedoes have been reduced while we further investigate internal components or stored vehicles being damaged too easily from external explosions. We've also increased damage fall-off over distance within the explosion radius for the same reason. Now, if you're wondering, does that also affect component kill for the Polaris and Aegis? In my yesterday's video, we've tested that one size 10 or one size 12 torpedo hit in the right spot can completely disable or power plant kill for a Polaris or an Aegis. 3 size 9 torpedoes hit at the right spot can component kill a Polaris. So the explosion radius is still big enough to power plant kill your capital ships. Next, Health Sanity Pass. All missiles and torpedoes type have undergone a health normalization pass. Health values are now standardized by weapon size, with smaller missiles being less durable and torpedoes being most resistant. And for this one, I have explained fully in my previous video. Last feature update. radiation wedges. The radiation wedges in FPS gameplay have been updated to provide clear and more actionable information. You will see improved readouts that better reflect your exposure level, along with new animations that help you quickly understand how fast radiation is building up or dissipating. These changes make it easier to react in real time and manage survival in hazardous zones. Now, these hazardous zones are the storm-breaking locations, the Lazarus Labs, which is one of the major new feature in the 4.2 with the Apex Valakar. And the resources will be extremely rare because as far as I know, the only thing that can trade for a Wicklow favor are the pearls from the Apex Valakar. So players all over the verse is going to be converging on that location, and it's going to be one of the most intense PvP action ever in this game, as long as we can only trade pearls for Wicklow favors. Next thing that I noticed that the added in the 4.2 PTU patch is the external lights on the capital ships. So this is the Polaris. You can see the external lights right there. Maybe this is not new, but I just noticed that. Looks really nice. You have in the middle of the ship, and the front right here as well, and especially the front elevator right here. You have this light here. I think this is new. Yeah, especially in Pyro Hangar, it's really dark, so these lights really make a difference. So that's on the Polaris. Now, next are the Idrises. So you can see there are exterior lights throughout the ship right here as well. But what's most important for the Idris are the front light. And you can see that front light right there. It's really bright when you fly the ship outside. I have tested it. So very good. We have lights for the Idris now. So this is it. Thanks for watching.